Throughout the presentation, if you have questions, feel free to put them in the group chat. I'm here by myself though, presenting, so I might have to wait until the end to answer your questions. Um, at the end, you'll have time to ask questions as well. I'm going to be sharing my screen showing a presentation, so again, might not be able to see the group chat questions, but feel free to write down anything, and we will go ahead and get started. So like I said, my name is Cadence. I am a senior academic advisor in the College of Pharmacy, and I have been working in pharmacy since about January, so haven't been here very long, but I do know a pretty good amount about the program, and should be able to answer any of your questions. Any questions I'm not able to answer, I'll write them down or I'll give you the email that you can email me at, words are hard, to get that answer for you, if I'm not able to find it, tonight. So we're going to be going through the overview of what the degrees are that we offer. We're going to go through our application process for the PharmD program, why Purdue Pharmacy, and then how to prepare for college. So first, we have two different degree programs offered within the College of Pharmacy. First is the Bachelor of Science, Pharmaceutical Sciences. If you were to apply to Purdue and apply for the College of Pharmacy, this is the program that you would be going into. It is a 4-year undergraduate program, but there is an option to do 2 years of undergraduate coursework, not get a bachelor's degree, and then go into our PharmD program. I'll talk more about that in a little bit, but either way, whatever route you're looking to go, you're going to end up in BSPS first. And then the PharmD program is a 4-year professional program, and it is not a direct admit. So if you're admitted for the bachelor's degree, you're not automatically admitted for the Doctor of Pharmacy. You do have to apply and interview for that program, but we do a really good job of making sure students are set up to succeed through that application and interview process. And the Doctor of Pharmacy program prepares students to go into practice pharmacy. You have to take a licensing exam. You have to be a licensed pharmacist. That's generally the goal those students have. For students who do the BSPS program, they do it for a variety of reasons. Some students will come in and do our bachelor's degree program because they are interested in going pre-med. They could also do it because they're just interested in working in the pharmaceutical industry, but don't want to be a pharmacist, so just working around it. Or I even have a student who's doing BSPS and then they want to go to law school and practice intellectual property law. That's literally the only student I've heard of doing that, but like there are lots of options with the degree. So this is kind of what I was just talking about. So the first year you come in, if you apply to the College of Pharmacy, you're going to be a Bachelor's of Science, Pharmaceutical Sciences major. And then during your sophomore year, you'll decide if you are planning to get the 4-year bachelor's degree or if you are wanting to apply to our Doctor of Pharmacy, PharmD program. And that's for students who want to be licensed pharmacists. So if that's what you decide to do, then you would apply to the program during the fall semester of your sophomore year, second year of college. And then if admitted, you would pursue another 4 years of professional schooling to complete the PharmD degree. If you choose to complete the bachelor's degree, you would just continue on through the pharmaceutical sciences plan of study, and you would only have 2 more years to complete your 4-year bachelor's degree. Okay. Something that will actually be new starting this academic year is that we are offering a 4+1 program, so 4 years plus 1 of a master's degree, 4 years of bachelor's degree plus 1 year of a master's degree, and it overlaps a little bit. And so you would be able to get a master's in public health within 5 years. These are some of the requirements for getting into that program. Students would be able to apply during the 3rd year of their bachelor's degree, and then they would start taking courses towards their master's during their senior year, and then after that would go on to take 1 more year. The plus side of this is that during your senior year, when you're taking those master's level courses, you're taking it at the rate of an undergraduate bachelor's degree seeking student, instead of the rate and cost of a master's degree seeking student, which is different. Additionally, you get to choose a concentration in one of the three listed here, so family and community health, biostatistics, or epidemiology. Also, if you were to do the MPH program, you would have an advisor not only within the College of Pharmacy, but within the college or within the public health master's program, that would help you to make sure that you're on track to graduate with that as well. I don't have it listed in this slide, but we'll also have the opportunity for our PharmD students to also get an MPH, a Master's of Public Health as well. That one, the details aren't quite ironed out yet, but there should be more information coming about it in the upcoming school year, for students who are in the PharmD program now. And if you're interested in that, you can always look it up when you get here or check back later this year, as we will probably have more information on our website by then. So no matter what your goals are, if you are in the College of Pharmacy, this is typically what your first semester is going to look like. General chemistry, applied calculus, biology 1, intro to pharmacy and pharmaceutical sciences, a communications elective, and of course all of this might change. We know a lot of students take AP courses, and if your AP courses come in to cover any of these classes, you're more than welcome to apply those courses to cover these classes. However, even if students bring in 100 AP courses, sometimes it still takes the entire time, or the 2 years or the 4 years, to complete whatever their goal is, for that undergraduate coursework. So it still takes 2 years to complete the pre-coursework to apply to PharmD, or it still takes 4 years to complete the coursework for the bachelor's degree. And that's because a lot of our classes are prerequisites for classes in the next semester. So for example, general chemistry in semester 1 is a prerequisite for organic chemistry taken semester 2, which is a prerequisite for organic chemistry 2, and so on. If you're interested in seeing the plan of study, we have those on our website and you're able to find it. If you go to Purdue Pharmacy, our website within Purdue's website, there should be a curriculum page and you'd be able to view that. And it should have notes on what prerequisites count for which courses. Some of the AP classes we typically see people bring in are biology, calculus, chemistry, English language, economics, and statistics. If you get a 4 or 5 on most AP exams, it will come in covering one of those classes. Or at least, if you get at least a 3 on the exam, it'll come in as college credit, which is always good to have more college credit. So whatever you do end up getting on it, make sure you're sending those scores to Purdue. They might help you to take less classes or be able to take different classes or have some more flexibility in your schedule. Even if they don't cover some of the courses that are required for our degree, it's still helpful to have those extra classes to count towards your graduation, because you have to get a certain amount of credits before you can graduate. Right, so the Doctor of Pharmacy admissions program, we find that a lot of students do come to Purdue to study the Bachelor of Science in Pharmaceutical Sciences because they are interested in the PharmD program and interested in taking those 2 years of undergrad and then 4 years of a professional degree. So we like to go over this just briefly so that you're aware of what it kind of looks like to apply to a professional program. So no matter where you go to pharmacy school, you will submit your application through PharmCast, which is the Pharmacy College application service. It's very similar to Common App, in which you submit one application, or you submit your like application or profile, and it's sent to multiple schools. So you can apply to multiple schools through PharmCast, instead of just applying to Purdue, if that's something you're interested in. And the application window from that goes from July to December. of the year prior to starting the program. So for our students who are wanting to start PharmD in the fall of 2026, their application window is open now. Many of them probably have not submitted their application though, because we offer a pharmacy admissions course for anyone who's interested in completing this application. It's called PHSC 200. Students are able to take it during their sophomore year. It's not required, but it's really helpful. It helps students set up a timeline for when they're going to apply. It helps them complete some of those application materials um, and gives them advice on like how to apply and do well in interviews and all of the things you need to apply to the PharmD program. For students who can't take it or don't choose to take it, we still offer educational sessions that help them to prepare for the application and interview process. Pre-PharmD students will apply during their sophomore year. I already told you all that. And then for 2025, we had about 350 applicants and offered around 250 interviews. To get an interview, you have to meet certain prerequisites. You have to take a certain amount of certain types of courses, and I'll show those on the next page. And so most of the people who did not get interviews, it's because they didn't meet those requirements of having a certain GPA or being done with certain courses. And then we admit 150 students. The number does not change. We only admit 150 each year. We can't admit any more than that because of how accreditation works for a PharmD program. And of those 150, typically around 130 of them are Purdue students who come to Purdue to do those first 2 years of college prior to applying to the program. So with the PharmD candidate, they are looking for these 6 things listed here. So they want to see that you have some type of employment experience, pharmacy experiences. If you put those together and work in a pharmacy and have a pharmacy experience and employment experience together, that's awesome. It's not required, but it does look good. Academic performance, so you do have to meet a certain GPA requirement and have to perform well in your undergraduate courses with a C minus or better in each class. Communication skills, there's actually a part of the interview process where you do a written and an oral communication part of the interview. And then you'll want extracurricular, volunteer, healthcare experiences. Those can be a variety of things. And then last is 2 letters of evaluation. And all of these things do not need to be completed within your freshman year of college. You can go back at least 2 years into high school. So think junior year of high school on up until you are applying to the program. All of those things can be used as part of your application to meet these different um, areas that we're looking for in the application. So priority missions, this is how you get a guaranteed interview essentially. As long as you are meeting these requirements, you should be asked for an interview. Um, and And again, at Purdue, we make sure that these courses over on the right are courses that you take prior to that interview process. Final decisions on admissions require an in-person interview. So actually getting admitted to the program does reflect or does require that interview, but to get an interview, this is like what you need to have done. It also says that general physics and microbiology, you can take those either semester of your second year or even earlier if you've got openings in your schedule. And there's ability to take some of the required courses just after you apply, because you'll have a whole semester of college after the application is submitted. Yeah, I think that's all I needed to cover here. Okay, so why should you come to Purdue for pharmacy? So we have that 2+4 program, so 2 years of pre-pharmacy undergraduate coursework and then 4 years of a professional degree. We also have a partnership with our Master's in Public Health program for both the undergraduate degree and the Bachelor's of Pharmaceutical Sciences, as well as the PharmD degree. There just isn't a whole lot of information on the PharmD one yet, but there is information about the 4+1 program for the Masters of Public Health, and you can check that info out online. This is the most affordable top 10 PharmD program. There's a nuclear pharmacy program on site that actually prepares students to sit for the nuclear exam following graduation. Anyone in the PharmD program will also end up working in the on-site student-run pharmacy that's actually in our current building, right next to the like health center that's on campus. You can actually go over, it's called Push, to the Purdue Health Center, and a doctor might prescribe you something and you can pick it up right next door at the pharmacy. There's over 700 PharmD practice experiences that students are able to participate in. You won't participate in 700, but there are lots of options. We have around 85 faculty members and over 25, closer to 30 student organizations for both the undergraduate and graduate and professional students who are interested in the PharmD program. For the NAPLEX in 2024, we had a 77.7% pass rate. And then most exciting, we have a new building coming soon. So this is some of the architectural renderings of what that building might look like. It's going to be partnered with the nursing program. So it's the Nursing and Pharmacy Education Building, and it'll be on like the main road when you come into Purdue. It does not open until January of 2027, but it's going to be a really awesome facility. The building we're in right now is pretty old. You probably won't end up having classes there, or you won't have many classes there. You will still have classes there because in the first year of the PharmD program, if you were to do that, your class where you're actually working in the pharmacy will take place in the pharmacy that is located in the old pharmacy building. All right, so how do you prepare for college? To prepare for your next giant leap of coming to Purdue, the application opens August 1st. For early decisions, you will need to apply by November 1st. Also, if you are interested in scholarships, an honors program, or honors college, you'll also want to apply by November 1st. Regular decision deadline is January 15th, so as long as you get an application in by January 15th, you should be okay to have your application in on time. Decisions come out later than that. At Purdue, they do a holistic application review. So they look at all of your experiences in high school, your grades, your GPA, your test scores. They look at all of the things. It's not that you need a certain GPA or a certain test score to like make sure you're getting in. It's going to be a holistic process, and they're going to look at everything that you submit. Once you do get in, you'll want to submit your AP scores, your dual credit scores to Purdue, as well as your test scores. So there at the bottom, it shows the scores you need on your test, whether you take the SAT, the ACT, or our math placement exam called the ALEX, to place into the calculus and the chemistry course that you need to take first semester. And for that SAT 620, that's in math specifically. Same with the ACT 26. For the ALEX, that's just the overall score. And if you don't get those scores on the SAT or the ACT, any student can take the ALEX for free prior to beginning classes at Purdue. More information will come on that when and if you're admitted. If you are interested in the PharmD program, we highly recommend shadowing, volunteering, or just interviewing pharmacists or people within the pharmaceutical industry to get a good understanding of what it means to be in the industry, and what it looks like to be in that career after graduating. It is 6 years to become a doctor of pharmacy, so it's good to know what you're getting yourself into before you get done with those 6 years. Other things. Oh, I forgot to mention this earlier, but during the PharmD program, I did say it's 4 years of professional schooling, but that fourth year, you're actually not taking courses, you're just doing what we call rotations. So you're going to actual pharmacists or some type of related location, and you are working as a pharmacist in different settings. So there's different types of pharmacy that you can work in, whether it be in a hospital or a retail setting or whatever else there is. And you'll get to do each of those during your senior, or not during your senior year, during your fourth year of the doctoral program. Okay, so I think I am done talking, and if you all have any questions, I can take them now. Otherwise, this email, farmlife@purdue.edu, will be your go-to place to ask any questions that maybe I can't answer tonight or that you think of after tonight. So let me stop sharing my screen, and does anyone have any questions?
Thank you so much for a great presentation. I have actually several questions. I'll just start
Okay.
with my first one. Um, so I'm attending actually on behalf of my daughter who is out for an internship at this point. But she has given me these questions. So, first thing is she's looking for applying for the bachelor's of pharmaceutical sciences program this fall cycle. And she just wanted to know, what do you look for? What is the strong candidate, in your opinion, for that program?
Yeah, if you're applying for a bachelor's degree, that goes through Purdue undergraduate admissions. And so they would actually be the ones to ask about that. I unfortunately don't review any applications. But like I said, it is a holistic review process. So it's not just making sure you have the best grades, it's making sure you have good grades, that you're involved, that you're doing things outside of the classroom too. So you can always reach out to admissions@purdue.edu or check out their website, and they'll have some good guidelines for students applying um, for a bachelor's degree.
Great. And how about, in terms of how competitive is it? Just, how we always kind of say, if you're applying to engineering versus if you're applying to a different degree. So how would you place pharmaceutical sciences, just to get a rough idea?
Yeah, I would say we are definitely not as selective as engineering. Engineering has limits to how many people that they admit. We typically don't. We typically are Our incoming classes are generally around 220 to 250. So that's typically what admissions gives us. Again, that's another question kind of for
Mhm.
admissions specifically because they're the ones who send out the offers. But yeah.
Okay, cool. Also wanted to know, can you repeat what you had said about the high school? Um, that you could, farm the application can take something into consideration from high school. I sort of missed that point.
Yeah, with the PharmD application, they'll look back at least 2 years into high school. So anything that your student did junior or senior year of high school can also be included on that application process for the Doctor of Pharmacy program. So if they did a volunteer organization during their junior year or had a job their senior year, that can all be included on the application because they look at about 4 years back.
Oh, that is really good to know, because all these internships and all are happening in that space for her. So
Yep.
that's good to know. I have a couple more. I'll make sure I'm respectful for others also to ask. So my next one is, you mentioned that in that last year, students go in the PharmD program for practicing. How is it? I've never been to Purdue, I've not visited it, but do you have hospitals nearby? Like, where do people go? Do they go locally? Do they go back to their hometowns, or how does that work?
Yeah. It's all over the place. So a lot of the sites are in Indiana because that's where a lot of the connections are for Purdue and for the pharmacy program. But we also have international rotations. So students have gone to Colombia, they've gone to the UK, they've gone to Kenya was another one as well. And so students essentially rank like which sites they want to go to, which kind of experiences they want to have. And then they are given their schedule of where they need to be. And so they stay at each of those places for, I believe, 4 or 8 weeks. It kind of depends on where you're at. If you're doing an international rotation, you stay on it a little bit longer than if you're doing one just in the state of Indiana. And so, yeah, they're kind of all over the place, but a majority of them are in Indiana.
Cool, that's really eh, exciting to know. And my last question was just about tuition, both for the bachelor's and the PharmD. If you are able to tell now or post a link, either is fine, but I was just wondering what the tuition looks like.
Can you say that again? Sorry.
Sorry, the tuition or the fees for the bachelor's as well as for the PharmD, if you're able to maybe, post a link or if you have that information. That was my last question.
Yeah, I can look that up real quick. Tuition changes for both of them. Well, I guess it kind of depends. Tuition for undergraduates at Purdue has not changed in a very long time, and I don't believe it is changing for undergraduate students, but it will change for the professional degree. And so here is a link to the website that talks about tuition fees and rates. And you can see that the PharmD tuition and fees is on there as well as the undergraduate rates.
Okay.
But it may
Perfect.
also change by the time your student is coming here.
Okay, cool. Well,
Yeah.
thank you. I might have something more, but for now, I'll stop and I'll let others ask. Thank you.
We got a question in the chat. If you get accepted to the PharmD program, do you automatically earn your bachelor's degree after 2 years? You do not. Our bachelor's degree requires courses that aren't offered exactly during the PharmD program. And it also requires a certain amount of credit hours. And so students who are going for that 2+4 program do not earn a bachelor's degree, but they do earn their PharmD. And for students who are interested in being a licensed pharmacist, that's what's important, is that you have that Doctor of Pharmacy degree. You don't necessarily need a bachelor's degree for it. Any other questions? Alrighty. Well, if there are no other questions, you can email farmlife@purdue.edu. Oh, I see another question. That email I just put in the chat is a place that you can send your questions. I'm the one who monitors that email and will respond to you with any answers. Oh wait, no, there's not another question. Okay, I'll ask one more time. Any other questions? Okay. If you think of them, again, email farmlife@purdue.edu, and we can get those questions answered for you. There's also a bunch of information on our website, which has recently been redone. And I think it actually has more information than it did prior to, I think it was like June, sometime middle of June, that it got redone. So definitely check it out if you've got questions. If you have questions specifically about applying to Purdue as an undergraduate student, I would direct those over to admissions@purdue.edu. But if you have questions just generally about the pharmacy, College of Pharmacy, or the PharmD program, our office can answer those. So if there are no other questions, that's all I've got for tonight. I'll stick around for a couple of minutes in case anyone has questions, but thank you all so much for coming. And yeah, have a great night.